Welcome back to Anime Cake. Now, we all enjoy watching any given anime series where the main character is overpowered and surrounded by pretty girls. The anime gets more enjoyable to watch somehow. Today I'll be looking at a few anime titles where this happens. Coming in at number 5, Black Clover. Black Clover tells the story of Asta and Yuno, two young orphans who came to know of the Wizard King, a title given to the strongest mage in the kingdom. They vowed that they would rival each other for the position of the next Wizard King. However, as they grew up, the stark difference between them became evident. While Yuno was able to wield magic with amazing power and control, Asta cannot use magic at all, and desperately tries to awaken his powers by training physically. Now, if you are a fan of come-up stories, Asta has a great one. From being an orphan, growing up poor, and not having any magical powers, to now being one of the best new rookies in the Magical Knights, while having two beautiful girls that come from families of royalty having a crush on them at the same time.
What to do? Please help me. It's, Asta. Whenever I see him, I get this weird feeling in my chest. Since that day in the dungeon, he's all I can ever seem to think about.
Number 4. Hagura Yusha no Aesthetica. This magic anime follows several young men and women who regularly transfer to a world of sword and magic called Alezar. Those who survive and return to their homeland are typically gifted with magic abilities. Akatsuki Osawa, known as the Rogue Hero, discards his peaceful life in the fantasy world of Alezar to face new challenges upon returning to Earth. He comes back with Miyu, the daughter of the Demon King he defeated in battle, and is now forced to hide her true identity by having her pose as his little sister. But this simple task becomes complicated due to the trouble and danger lurking around every corner. At number 3, we have Ichiban Ushiro no Daimao. This action comedy magic anime follows one of the most promising overpowered transfer students in the Wizard Academy, Akuto Sai, a boy who aims to become part of his country's highest order of magicians and contribute to society as one of its clergy. Akuto takes a career assessment test, and the results say that he'll become a Demon King. When news of this gets out, the students treat him differently. Moreover, he is surrounded by a harem of beautiful girls who each have their own plans for him. With his newly awakened powers, Akuto must cope with his constantly growing list of misfortunes and fights to prove that his fate is not to be evil. Number 2. High School DxD. Who needs a harem when you have Rias Grimoire, a demon princess and also the most beautiful girl at your school, by your side? This anime tells the story of Issei Hyodo, who is just your typical average high school student, with nothing really special about him or happening in his life. Things seem to be looking up for Issei when a pretty girl named Rias asks him out on a date.
In that case, since you're single, do you think you'd like to go out with me?
Go out with you?
Although, she turns out to be a fallen angel who brutally kills him. Issei gets a second chance at life and Rias revives him as her servant. Issei is such a lucky bastard. This guy dies, gets brought back to life. Rias, who he should be serving, is in love with him and overprotective of him, and gets jealous when other female characters get near him. Oh, and let's not forget that he also awakens a sacred gear, an item that gives him powerful abilities. How lucky can one guy get? And coming in at number 1, Sword Art Online. When Kirito and thousands of other lucky players log into Sword Art Online, a new, highly anticipated virtual reality MMORPG, they find themselves trapped in the game with no way to log off. Worse yet, the players discover that if they die in the game or the connection is severed from the outside, the VR helmet will microwave their brains and kill them in the real world.
Are you listening to this crap? He's gotta be nuts, right? Right, Kirito?
He's not. The transmitter signals in the headgear work just like microwaves. If the safety's disabled, it could fry your brain.
The only way out is to pass all 100 floors, each a self-contained world in and of itself, and defeat the game's final boss. Now, if you never watched the anime, that intro might make it sound like a grim and nasty place, but it's quite different. Sword Art Online visually looks like a wonderful and beautiful world to be stuck in for a long period of time. Kirito meets a lot of new people and makes some new friends while going on adventures to complete the game. Kirito is what I would call a Chad. The other girl characters like him and like being around him. I mean, he even married one of them and someone has a kid with her, which is odd because Kirito seemed like a loner at first. He always kept to himself, he seemed to always wanted to be alone, and did not interact with the other players in the game unless it was necessary.
I'm trying to get you to stop with all your stupid soloing. Come on, join up with us.
I have to do this alone.
I highly recommend this anime, and I think everyone should at least give it a try. If you know any anime that should have made the list, please leave it in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to keep up to date on the channel for when we release a new video.